Hello and welcome to Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC, a weekly podcast and YouTube channel discussing everything Wrexham from the point of view of long-term fans and brand new fans like my wife. So sit back, put your feet up, relax and let's get stuck in. Hello and welcome to episode 37 of Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC.
Hiya.
Hello, where are we going to start?
Oh my God, hasn't it been a bit of a... I keep saying this and we say it every week.
And it's
it has
boring
been
now.
A bumper week for things happening for Wrexham AFC.
Shall we start with Ben?
I don't think there is any better place to start.
So, Ben Foster signed. For anybody who has been living under a rock, Ben Foster re-signed for the club. So he was with us in 2005.
On loan, we've got to say on loan.
On loan from Stoke. From us, he went to Man United. Obviously went back to Stoke and then went to Man United, for the one person who very kindly pointed that out on TikTok for us. So he went from us basically to Man United. And he's had a very good career since.
He ended his career in Watford, was it?
Yes,
yeah.
So he was at Watford last, playing in the Premier League. And he retired at the end of last season. Had loads of offers. One in particular, I think that sort of stood out, was he had an offer from Newcastle. So Newcastle, again, Premier League team, since their takeover, one of the richest clubs in the world. Mm-hmm. And the story behind that is he'd retired. Their goalkeeper went down injured. And they were looking for a number two, just to sort of, be there just in case their number two was going to be their number one. And then Ben was going to go in as their number two.
Do you bring Ben Foster in to be number two, though?
Well, it's someone like Newcastle, probably,
oh, yeah, maybe,
with big ambitions.
Yeah,
so their number two, they kept their faith with their number two to be their number one. Ben wasn't. It was a massive opportunity for him to go and play a massive club. But he didn't really want to do it. He'd retired. He'd made that decision.
I think it was family. I think, again, it was
definitely family.
Yeah, he didn't want to be leaving his family, again, because I'm not sure where he's from.
He's Midlands-ish based. So
Newcastle's quite a bit of a way away.
Yeah,
so.
What he'd said was he would have to move up there away from his family.
Again.
For, sort of 8-9 months. He didn't really want to do it. What he said, though, was if they offer me a lot of money, I'll do it. So they turned around and said, yeah, all right, then we'll offer you loads of money. And then he just got to a point where he knew, because it wasn't he didn't want to do it, that was the end for him.
I think what he said on his interview was that the reason why he said, if you offer me a lot more money, he said, I'd do it, because he was thinking that they would say, nah, you're all right. Yeah. So because he didn't want to say no himself, but it turned out that he had to, because Newcastle weren't budging.
Yeah, so he they really wanted him. They said, yeah, okay, we'll give you the money. And he said no, and that was the point when he realised that he wasn't going to take the opportunity and his career was done. So he retired. And then, lo and behold, 8 months later, unlucky for Rob, he went down injured.
Yeah. Rob Langton, that is, not Rob McElhenney.
Yeah. And then we were looking for another goalkeeper. So, was it a shock to you? There was a lot of rumours.
I was going to say...
We get rumours anyway.
Yeah, I know. But like your dad said, when rumours circulate in regards to football, they usually turn out to be true. So when they did announce it, I was like, yeah, I mean... For me personally, it's probably not that much of a big deal, because I've never seen him play.
I don't know who he is.
I didn't know who he was, but for someone like you who's been watching football for years and years and years, and for everybody else who's been watching it for years, they obviously know who Ben Foster is, and I think it was a big coup, as they say.
For me, it was. Now, we've made lots of really good signings. So for example, when we signed Paul Mullin, I remember going, oh, that's a big signing, that is, because I watch I watch every EFL. I'm a freak. I watch every EFL game.
Vouch for that.
Every week. I see the highlights of every game.
Yes.
And I watch everything. So when we signed Paul Mullin, I knew who Paul Mullin was.
Where was Paul Mullin from?
Cambridge.
Cambridge.
So I knew Paul Mullin. I knew who he was. And I remember going, that's a good signing. That is really good signing. Can't believe we managed to sign him. You know, and that was my sort of reaction to that. Ollie Palmer. Again, I knew who Ollie Palmer was. And I was like, that's a decent signing.
He was from AFC Wimbledon, wasn't he?
He was
yes,
indeed.
I know that
well
one.
done. And I remember they were all like, oh, that's a good signing.
Yep.
That's a good signing. Ben Tozer, I remember when we got him and there was a bit of an and an ahhing about the sort of fee and stuff like that. And I was like, oh yeah, we could push that through. I knew Ben Tozer. I knew who he was. All that being said, this is the first signing that we have made since I don't know when I actually got goosebumps when it was announced. It was legit, not just once either. When it was announced, my whole body went, whoo, like that, right? Honestly. And then I was in work at the time, and then 10 minutes later, right, I thought about it again, and my body went, oh, again, right? And it was honestly, it was one of them signings.
I don't even have that reaction for you anymore.
And it was one of them signings that I went, oh, that's massive. That is massive.
Was this at rumour stage, or was this after
no,
it being confirmed?
This is when it was done. This is when it was done, because I don't believe rumours, because I read a lot of stuff, and the amount of players we've been linked with is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. So when you get a rumour like this, you just sort of go, oh, it's another rumour. But when it happened, I was like, oh.
We all know the noise that you made.
Yeah, I know. It was mental. How do you think Mark Howard feels at this moment in time? Not spoiler alert. We were umming and ahhing whether Ben Foster was going to play on the York game. Spoiler alert. He did play. So Mark Howard was on the bench.
Yeah.
Put yourself in Mark's position. How do you think he feels?
Gutted.
Yeah.
Gutted that because obviously he came in for Rob Langton when he got injured last season.
Yeah.
So he was there at the back end of last season, and he's seen us through.
No, he was in the summer. He came in the summer, so it's all this season.
Oh, sorry, of course, Dibble.
Yeah.
Dibble. Sorry, yeah, time has just flown. I can't,
Keepers all over the place.
Yeah. Obviously, Dibble got injured,
yes.
And Mark Howard then came in for him.
No, Mark's been in. So
I'm so confused.
You are confused, and you're confusing everyone else. So last season, Rob got injured. Okay?
Yes.
And Christian came in. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he played the remainder of the season.
Yes.
In the summer, we went out and we bought another goalkeeper, which was Mark Howard.
Okay, well, my point basically
yes.
was that he's been here for the whole of this season.
Yeah, as a number one.
As a number one.
Yeah.
And then Langton came in, for whatever reason, Parky wanted that to happen.
I'll tell you when he came in. He came in the FA Cup replay at Sheffield United.
Yes, he did.
I remember, the first game he came back.
But then that was just, we assumed that was just because it was an FA game.
We did.
An FA Cup game, and blah, 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 yeah. But then he played a few more games and we were thinking, what's going on? But everybody was dead happy that obviously Langton was back. And then Langton got injured. So at Bromley again. So we just assumed that Howard would step up to the breach and he would be the number one again.
I think I'd be fuming. Personally, I think if that was me, you've been the number one all season. You made one or two mistakes. In fact, that's life. And, but the assumption is, and then you've lost your place and the previous number one's come back from injury and he has taken his place back.
Which is,
that's fine. I don't really see a huge issue with that. So then for him to get injured again, and you would, in your mind, you're thinking, right, I'm back in. I've got another chance. For them to go out and then sign another goalkeeper.
A retired goalkeeper at that.
A retired goalkeeper, yeah. I mean, for me, that that shows a complete lack of not respect, trust. A lack of trust in Howard from Parky to me.
It's difficult, isn't it?
Because if you trusted him, bear in mind, with Rob out the way,
we've still got
on the injury table, we've still got 3 goalkeepers.
We have.
We've got Mark Howard, we've got Rory Watson, and we've got Kai Calderbank Park. Right?
Easy for you to say.
So you've got your 3 goalkeepers.
Yeah.
And if you trusted Mark, he's playing, Rory's sitting on the bench, and Kai is doing whatever he is doing. He's your 3rd keeper. Yeah. So I think the trust must have gone there. And I think that maybe the Maidenhead game did that with a mistake that lost us the 2 points. We've had lots of discussions about this, what should happen. Some people said stick with him. A lot of people said, look, you've got to go with Ben because you brought him in. Was it the right choice by Parky to bring him in?
I think we were talking, weren't we? Because Ben Foster was, he wasn't, when the play was at the other end of the field, pitch, whatever you call it, he was, he wasn't within the sticks, as you call them.
Yeah, I did make that comment. You did make that
comment that he was out there and he was ready to do whatever he needed to do. And you said that was a sign of a modern player.
Yeah.
Or a modern keeper.
It's Ben is not a young guy.
No.
Young keepers are very much, they very much play with their feet. They very much spend their time outside the box when the play's at the other end, ready to be like a sweeper sort of keeper.
Keeper?
Ben wouldn't have grown up like that.
No.
Because Ben's almost 40, so he hasn't grown up playing in that way.
Yeah.
So what that shows you is he is a goalkeeper who has evolved over time. Whereas Mark, we've discussed before, he very much a keeper who likes to sit back a little bit, when the play's in the other half. So yeah, I think you dodged the question, really.
I can't even remember what the question was.
The question was it the right decision from Parky?
Yeah, well, where I was going with it was that he was out there and he was ready to go, but whereas, Mark Howard was a bit more, a bit back, and you could sometimes see the nerves in Howard, but in Ben Foster, you could tell he was a professional. I know, obviously, Howard's a professional, but he was a long-term professional, played in the Premier League and all that kind of stuff.
You answer questions like a politician. Do you know that? Was it the right decision by Parky?
Right, yes, it was.
Yes.
I'm trying to avoid the question because I don't want to hurt Howard's
bloody Boris Johnson.
Oh, shut up.
Did you have a party? No, I think it's the right choice.
It was the right choice.
As much as it's, a lot of people...
If he'd let a goal in, I would have said, no, it was a bad choice. But the fact that he had a clean sheet, it was a brilliant choice.
I just think it was the right choice. I think a lot of people had lost that little bit of faith with Mark.
Yeah.
Rightly or wrongly. It is what it is.
It is what, yeah.
And, he'd already brought Rob back, and I think Parky'd already started to maybe not fancy Mark that much. And
fancy him?
Yeah, to play. You laugh at the weirdest things. So, what do you think he brings to the team?
Experience.
Yeah.
Premier League experience.
Yeah.
So he's like, I know that even in the National League you get pressure, don't you? But I think he's like, he's had like pressure from like at the top pressure.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think experience is probably the most.
I just think he's a good guy to have around as well.
Weirdly, right? And I did say this to you when we were at the game on Saturday. I said weirdly, it's like Howard is in the goal because they look
from a distance.
They look very similar.
Yeah, not up close, but from a distance. I'll give you that one. No, I just think he's a good guy to have around. Even if you brought him in and he didn't play, I just think he's one of them people that has got the right amount of energy and sort of passion and can say the right things at the right time. And I just think it's bound to be beneficial for that dressing room.
Would you bring an ex-Premier League goalkeeper in to sit him on the bench?
No.
It wouldn't make no sense, especially like the last 8 games. It just would make no sense whatsoever.
Do you know what? It wouldn't make any sense for Ben either. But what's the point? Why would you travel from the Midlands 5 or 6 days a week.
Just to sit on the bench.
Just to sit on a bench as a maybe.
Yeah.
It's just, if you were him, you'd just go,
nah,
you're all right.
Yeah.
I'll leave it.
I'll stick to my retirement. I'm cycling.
And he's cycling, yeah. He's got a YouTube channel, Cycling GK, and he's got the Fozcast podcast. He's very much he likes, being in front of camera.
He does.
I don't have an issue with that. We got cameras everywhere at the race course.
Sounds like we're talking about you.
Yeah, I know. Anyway.
So
we talked about Ben for way too long.
Let's talk about the York game.
So Rob and Ryan were in attendance.
They were, and the little baby, Blake Lively was there as well. Yeah. Oh, it was so lovely to see. At one point, this is obviously not football related, but Rob, I think not Rob, Ryan's two girls. Yeah. I think they're girls. Are they all girls?
I don't know.
Let's just say two children.
They were two girls, though.
Were they? Yeah. So the older one was pushing the younger one, and I think at one point Ryan crouched down to their level, and you could tell that he was shouting at, raising his voice to them or whatever he was doing, however he tells their kids off. And I think at one point he said, "Look at me," and then I said, I wish Ryan Reynolds was my dad.
Such an odd thing to say. Shan leans over to me. I'm watching the lads sort of warm up and stuff like that, and thinking about sort of like tactics, checking the team and stuff like that. And Shan leans in. She goes, "Ryan's telling his kids off," and I'm there going, I genuinely couldn't care less that he's telling his kids off. I mean, random thing.
It's not. It's just nice to know that he's this massive star with like loads and loads of money, but he still tells his kids off. I'm just saying, it's just like a normal thing. Yeah. Anyway, let's talk about the York game.
You're a weirdo, you are.
I'm not a weirdo. So Rob, Ryan, Blake Lively was there.
We've done this bit. I know. You've gone all giddy talking about Ryan Reynolds.
Well. Sorry, I have to get this little bit in. He was within touching distance of me yesterday. Yeah. And your dad shook his hand. I was so jealous.
You're shouting.
I know. I'm so excited. I just want...
Right, just calm down. You've got a Ryan at home, okay?
I wish I had the Ryan who had all the money. I do love you, though. You are my favourite Ryan. Secondly.
Anyway, right. Anyway,
the York game yesterday.
The York game.
Rob and Ryan were there.
Yeah. So one thing I noticed from the game that I sort of mentioned to you, was early on. Not early on. Throughout most of the game, there was no press from York. So they were more than that. Teams come and they like to press us. Press quite high. Put us under pressure. Don't let us pass the ball around the back. And tire people out, all that sort of stuff. They like to put pressure on. York had no press at all. There was zero.
Do you think that was tactical though?
Yeah, definitely. So what they decided is what they've probably worked on is they've noticed that teams that press us high, as soon as we beat that press, we're away, and and then they're men down because they've pressed, and they obviously know a lot of teams like to press us, so. That we've learnt quite well how to beat that press, and they've decided not to do it. I thought it was an odd decision because, they were just happy to sit off, stay in shape. It did make them hard-ish to break down because they were always in shape. And I think sometimes we're always going to break teams like that down. It's just going to take a little bit more time.
Which you did.
Yeah. See, the thing is, when teams press high, you beat that press, you got more of a chance of getting an early goal. And teams think that come into the racecourse, they've got to be all out, press high, but the trouble is with that is, there's a chance we'll score early. So they went, we're not going to do that, we're going to sit off a little bit, which they did. And it took us a long time to break them down.
43 minutes, I think we had our first own goal.
Well, yeah, I mean... It took us a long time to break them down. We had chances. Ryan Barnett was busy early on.
He was amazing.
He was really good.
Super signing he is.
Yeah, beating players. I'm still not 100% convinced about him defensively. I think there's a little bit of work to do defensively, but as long as we're on the front foot, which, we are a lot of the time, he's an excellent addition. And I think, he was beating players. He knows how to beat players. He does like this little juggling thing with them, not juggling, this little sort of feet with the ball. I'm not always 100% sure he knows what he's doing with his feet.
Is that showboating? Is that what they call showboating?
It is, but he's not showboating. He's trying to put the player off to get past him. That's not really showboating, no.
Elliot Lee does that quite a lot, doesn't he? He does the old foot shuffle to try and...
Not as much as Ryan Barnett does. He's very much...
Maybe that's his thing.
It is. I think he's grown up as a winger. But he looked lively. He hit the post.
Lively. Lively.
He hit the post early on.
Blake Lively. I'm proper giddy today. I don't know why.
There was a few chances here and there, but there was nothing really clear cut, was there? Until the 43rd minute, where JJ hit an absolute thunderbolt. And I was gutted for him, really, because it was such a decent strike. He caught it so well. It came off the bar. I've seen the replay. Was it over the line, do you think?
Well, I think when everyone was a bit like, I'm not 100% sure.
No, I've seen the replay. Someone posted it from the Wrexham Lager stand, sort of that end. So they had quite a decent line across the goal, and they posted a video. I've seen it, comes back, definitely doesn't go over the line when it bounces down off the bar. Sort of hits the keeper. I'm not sure,
Well, you're not sure it was a goal?
No.
Who cares? We still got two.
Oh, yeah. I couldn't care less. I'm just not sure it went in. And they were quite angry. And that sort of,
I think, didn't the keeper... Oh, no, I think that was the third goal.
Yeah, so they weren't happy at all. And I can from the replay, I can sort of see why. I mean, we don't have goal line technology in the National League.
Do you have it in the FL?
No, I don't
Just
think
Premier
so.
League.
Premier League and Championship, I think they have goal line technology. They have a little buzz on the watch. So when it goes over the line, they have that Hawkeye, don't they? That you must have seen that.
Yeah.
Sees, and if it goes over the line, it buzzes on the referee's watch.
So then he'll go and...
Then he knows. No, he knows. They don't
he
check
knows.
it.
He knows.
Hawkeye goes, that's in. And then he goes, buzzed. Let's crack on.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Could we, do that anyway? Just get a watch and let it buzz when it goes in the land?
No. What did you make of our mate, Lionel John Lewis?
Oh, he is a beast. I actually did not remember just how much, when we went to watch them away in December last year, I honestly...
I think he's put some bulk on,
I said he's a beast.
He is.
He is a beast. I thought Tunnicliffe was a beast, but John Lewis just takes the biscuit.
Do you know what? He's very, very strong. He caused some problems.
He did. I'm actually surprised they didn't get a goal with him on the pitch, to be honest.
He won a lot in the air. He's a big bully sort of player. People were struggling to get headers, defensive headers from him. I just thought he played well.
He did.
I thought, as a shout out for an opposing player, I thought he was very good. And I think what York are missing, is another striker to maybe run off him a little bit. Because I think it falls on him to score a lot. And he's their top scorer with 12. And I think if he had a little pacey sort of striker with him, I think York could do a lot better. Not giving York manager tips, but I just think he needs someone.
Give him all the tips, we won't be playing them ever again.
Yeah, I just think
unless they come up, obviously.
They need something, that to go with him. But I'd shout out to him. I thought he was very good. We couldn't really create anything for sort of long periods in the game. I thought yesterday there was not. Yes, we created. Yes, we
couldn't create, but yes, we created.
No, I mean, we were getting in sort of the right areas, but there wasn't loads of chances, was there? I would attest that to the fact that they stayed in shape very well, York. And did you think before we scored, did you start thinking, oh God, it's another one of them, like York away, where we were just going through the game going, we'll score in a minute. score in a minute. And we didn't really create a lot against them when we played them away.
I did keep saying we need a goal before the half time. We need a goal before half time. We need a goal before half time. I kept saying that over and over to myself, and I was just like, I thought we're going to go into the second half with no goals. And then, SofaScore kept popping up. I mean, Notts County was scoring left, right and centre. And it was just like, oh my God, this is just not going well.
Yeah, because they scored 2 in the first 10 minutes, didn't
they? They did.
It's sort of like, right, okay, let's forget about them now.
Yeah.
And try and concentrate on our own thing.
It's hard to, though, because you're in such a.
We don't need to worry about them.
I know. Well, I do, because I'm a worrier.
You don't need to. It's just one of them things. Check the score at the end. They've dropped points, great. But I wouldn't worry too much about it during the match. It's just one of them things.
But I even though I thought we were going to be 0-0 going into half time, I had, with historical games this season, we have always scored the majority of our goals in the second half. When Parky has...
When we wear people down all the time.
When Parky said what they need to do, or, I don't think he ever changes formation, does he?
Not really.
Not really.
Unless we're losing.
Yeah. So I, but when we got the goal before half time, did we get 2 goals before half time?
No,
it was 2, 1 before and 2 after, wasn't it?
Yeah, so they had a chance sort of about 72 minutes. Ben made a decent save, to be honest. Just about Ben during the game, because he made that one sort of good save. How did you feel?
Oh God, I thought you were talking about Ben Tozer.
No, Ben Foster.
Yeah.
How did you feel about Ben's overall performance during the game?
I thought he was pretty good.
It's all right.
For goalkeepers. He saved all the balls. That's what you want from a goalkeeper,
isn't it? Saved all the balls?
He saved the balls.
No, I thought he was very good. He was commanding in the box. He punched what he needed to punch. He caught what he needed to catch. He made decent saves. He's got very good hands as well. He's always... if it's coming to him, he's catching it.
Yeah.
And I think...
Mr. Safe Hands.
Very much so. And I think at this time of the season, I felt confident. Every time the ball went up and he was there, I felt confident, right, he's got that. That's his.
Yeah.
Even under pressure, good hands as well. He was taking everything, and I was very impressed.
Are you in love with Ben Foster?
Maybe a little bit. Maybe. I don't know. I think I was just impressed. His distribution was very good as well. He has variations in his sort of, when he's kicking the ball on the floor, he has variations in that as well. A lot of it goes quite low.
Looks good in neon green as well.
A lot of the balls that he sort of plays are quite low.
Yeah.
So they get the reason I mention that is when you play it quite low, it gets to its destination quicker. Whereas a lot of keepers will loop the ball quite high. Everyone's got time to set and everyone's waiting for it to come down. Whereas he knows he can do the high loopy thing, so people can go up and challenge. He can also do the sort of lower sort of balls, and I thought his distribution was excellent as well.
He had the GoPro, didn't he? There.
Yes.
What he does is, if you're not sure, he because he's got his podcast and stuff like that. When he was, I'm assuming he had this YouTube channel when he was playing.
He did, because he used to put. They had an issue with him putting GoPros in the goal. Watford asked him to not do it, and he went, "Nah, I'm still doing it." Like, there was issues with it. Yeah.
So yesterday he had his GoPro.
Yeah.
It was in the goal. So for me, it'd be interesting to see, because obviously we see the goals from in front of the goal. But we never see
the goals from in front. Yeah,
you know what I mean. We don't see like the sort of action, like the players. Obviously, the people behind the goal do, because they're where they are.
But there won't be much to see for yesterday, would there? Apart from one save, maybe in 90 minutes, there wouldn't be loads to see. I don't.
No, but it'd be nice to see sort of what sort of things, because he speaks to the players and everything as well. So it'd be nice to see what he was saying to the players and all that kind of jazz. But. The attendance record yesterday.
Yeah, so 10,161, which is the most for this season, which is great.
Do you think we'll have? Is that the capacity?
No, because we always have the odd empty seat dotted about.
We had 2 in front of us. I just think. Well, I had one next to me because my brother wasn't there.
Yeah.
But I think the Notts County game will beat that record.
Yeah.
I've got a feeling that it's gonna.
fingers crossed anyway. So we kept plugging away anyway with them long throws. It didn't seem to be working for long periods, but Sam came on for Palmer. Do you think Sam changes the dynamic?
I do.
They're very similar players, aren't they? You know, that we use Sam as the big man to go to, so they do similar sort of things. Do you think the dynamic changes though when Sam comes on?
Yeah. And the reason why I say yes is because, you know, I'm not taking anything away from Palmer. He is an excellent player.
Yes.
But Sam Dalby is, dare I say it, he's younger.
Yes.
He's less experienced, which means he's easier to mold. And I just think I know it's an awful thing to say, but I think the fact that Sam Dalby has got age over Palmer, I think he will always have that edge to him. Yeah.
I think he's got a lot to learn, Sam.
Which is why,
I think he has, and I think Ollie's a good person to learn from.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think at the moment it works the way it works. You know, Sam does get goals, and I'm happy that Sam is going to continue getting goals off the bench. Yeah. And I think at some point there is going to be a changing of the guard, but I think at the moment the way we've got it set up works, and I really like the way that it works. So he got his goal, very good goal, happy for him to get it 10 minutes from the end. It would be nice to get goals a little bit earlier, please, because I felt
doesn't it make it more exciting?
Not really. I was just stressed to the max yesterday. I
felt quite emotional before the game yesterday.
Did you?
I'm not sure why. Maybe it's that time of the month or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was just because you saw another Ryan with more money.
Ryan Barnett was there as well.
So Elliot Lee scored in injury time.
That was a hooter of a goal. That was.
It was a good goal. Yeah, definitely. What's significant about that goal?
It went in.
No, there is some big significance surrounding that goal.
It was 100th goal.
It was the 100th goal. So it's our 100th goal in the league this season, which is brilliant. Well done.
Brilliant.
Few people got in touch. Sian obviously sent a post out about Ryan Barnett being man of the match.
Can I just interject?
Yeah.
Do you think, because obviously he's a new signing, do you think the people who sponsored the man of the match at the Saturday game, do you think, new signing, quite a good player, do you think they genuinely thought he did well yesterday on Saturday, or do you think they just wanted their picture with him?
No. He was man of the match yesterday.
No, I'm not saying he wasn't.
Well, no, that's why they picked him.
Okay. I'm just asking because sometimes...
Yeah, I know what you mean. If you're going to do that, though, you're going to pick Paul Mullin or Elliot Lee, aren't you? If you're going to go and sponsor the match, take the wrath of the crowd, pick Paul Mullin, have your picture taken with him. Who cares?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Paul Mullin did play well yesterday, but yeah, I think there would have been a few comments.
Yeah, it was well deserved. You picked out two players, didn't you?
I did.
You picked out Andy Cannon and you picked out Ryan Barnett.
I did.
Very good picks.
Thank you.
May I say? I completely agree with you. I've got nothing to say against anything that you said.
Shocking.
No, Andy Cannon was excellent, I thought, yesterday. Ryan Barnett was excellent. I thought he was deserving of his man of the match. A few people got in touch. Trevor said he was totally unplayable. We have a real diamond there. Best acquisition this transfer window, in my opinion. Kelly Morris said he was incredible. Mike Pearce-Owen said not bad going for a Shrewsbury lad. And Christian McHale said good decision. So I think
it was a good decision.
There was quite a few people who agreed with that, and I think we were two of them as well, to be honest. Quick one on predictions. So just before the game, for anybody who doesn't know, we've got a TikTok account.
And Instagram.
We've got all the accounts. But
all the accounts.
On TikTok, we basically put a video out before a game and we give our predictions for the game. So we did that on Saturday. You went for... Well, it doesn't matter. It was wrong. I went for 3-0, which is obviously very correct. So praise to me. So I just wanted to make a big deal of that because
somebody did say though, I think it was on TikTok, or it might be on Twitter, I can't remember. But they said that it could have been 4-0. Could
have been a lot of things, but it wasn't. It was
don't get all cocky because I won last time. So odds are I'm going to get the next one.
Really?
The Oldham game next week.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Talking of TikTok, we're getting quite all right at TikTok, aren't we? I'm getting into it now.
He hates TikTok and stuff like that. He doesn't really.
I do, but I'm getting into it now because
you have to get into it.
We've had 40,000 views on TikTok this week.
On one video?
No, spread across a couple of videos. I think it's about 37 on one video, 2,000 on another. So we've had over 40,000 views on TikTok. So head over to TikTok, search us up. Me, the wife, and Wrexham AFC. Yeah, and get following us, please. Yeah. That'd be great. Do you want to talk about Oldham?
Yeah, let's talk about Oldham. So we have got our Oldham home game next Saturday, the 1st of April, April Fools. Yeah. But we're not going to be fooling anybody because we're going to be cracking. Yeah, so we played them last October.
Yeah, we went to that, didn't we?
We did. Bit of a hellhole. Sorry.
Wow.
Not Oldham as a whole. Just the ground was a bit dilapidated.
Yeah, it was a bit rough, wasn't it?
I think you hated it because you queued for ages for a beer and you didn't get a beer.
I didn't get one. I was fuming.
You were fuming. You were tamping.
Look, at the time, I think 80 minutes in, you're thinking, why have we come here? Why have we come here? Because we were losing 1-0.
Yeah.
We scored 2 in the last 5 minutes. Won the game 2-1. As it turned out, it was one of the best games we've been to all season. Coming from 1-0 down with 5 minutes to go.
Oh, the atmosphere was amazing. Do you know what?
It was, yeah.
I love going to home games. I absolutely love it. I look forward to a Saturday. I get dead excited. But there's just something else about being with everybody in this one stand away. There's just that.
It is. It's a nice atmosphere being away.
And at the end, obviously, they had to hold us back because, they had to let the Oldham fans out first. But we were singing. It was just an amazing day.
I like an away game. When's our next away?
Halifax on the 7th.
Yes, so looking forward to that one. Anyway, this is all.
Anyway, they played Solihull on Saturday.
Yeah.
And they drew
1-1.
1-1 at home as well. Yeah. So previous games, 1-1, drawn 1, lost 1.
Yeah. So before Saturday, the 3 before that they won 1-1, 1-1, drawn 1, lost 1.
Yeah.
They've got 46 points from 38 games. There's no comparison with last season because they went in this league last season. They were in League 2 and they got promoted. No, they got relegated to the National League last season. They were struggling. I think they struggle.
Where are they in the table?
They're sort of mid-table. They're about 15th at the moment.
But they're not at the point where they're gonna get relegated from the National League.
They're
go down to National League South or North, whatever.
They're not really pushing for the playoffs, but they're sort of out of the way of the relegation as well.
So they're comfortable.
I wouldn't say anyone's comfortable in this league. If they put a decent run, if they won every one of their last 8 games or whatever they've got left, 7 games they've got left, maybe they could have a little push towards the playoffs. Equally, if they lost every one of them 7 games, they might be down in a little bit of trouble. So that's where they're at really at the moment. Yeah. Their top scorer is Fondop.
Fondop, we've heard his name before, haven't we?
Well, he used to play for us. So,
oh yeah. Who was the player? Was it Fondop who came to last season? Oh no, because he went in last. Forget it.
Okay, thanks for that point.
No, there's a player who played last season who used to play for Wrexham, and I'm sure he celebrated in front of our fans, and he got everyone to go.
Yes, I remember that happening. I can't remember who it was now.
Well, it wasn't Fondop. Anyway.
It wasn't Fondop. Fondop did score against us this season. So when we played them away,
but this was at home. It was a race.
Yeah, this was so this season Fondop scored against us when we won 2-1 at Oldham. He's another brute. He's another big one.
What are they eating?
I don't know, but he's a big lad, and I think it's very much. He's just one to watch. He's not the quickest. He's just one of them horrible players to play against that he tries to bully sort of defenders a little bit. He's got a bit of strength about him. Like I say, he hasn't really got pace. But it was another goal, I think, this season where when you watch it back a couple of times, you sort of go, maybe Howard could have done a little bit better with that one. Fingers crossed. Look, we played them what did we play them? In the FA Cup we played them, didn't we, Oldham? Beat them 3-0 at the racecourse. Yeah, it was the FA Cup. We beat them 3-0 at the racecourse last year, that would have been. So what do you fancy? What's your prediction?
Do you know what? I'm going to go 4-0 again.
You're going to go 4-0?
I've just got a good feeling about it. You're going to go 3-0, aren't you?
Do you know what? That's weird because I thought 3-0 in the FA Cup. I thought 3-0's about.
Yeah.
I quite fancy 3-0. I don't fancy him scoring against us. So I was going to go 3-0. You just said 4-0. That's the exact predictions that we had for the York game on Saturday.
I know it was.
So we're literally just going. It's lazy, really, isn't it?
It's not lazy. It's
Just got a feeling.
I've just got a feeling.
I'm gonna.
Yeah. Skipping on.
Yeah.
So we're gonna next Saturday we will be level with Notts County in regards to games, won't we?
No, we won't. So let me.
I thought we were.
Yes. So let me explain this.
I'm sure that's what you told me.
It is what I told you because the information was correct at time of recording. So
we weren't even recording.
No, I know.
We don't record everything in our lives.
So we were due to be level on games with Notts County on the 1st of April, which is next Saturday.
However,
the reason that was going to be the case is that Notts County were due to play Altrincham on Saturday.
Right, okay.
But
their game was postponed.
The game was called off because Altrincham was still in the FA Trophy.
Are they still?
Yes, and it's the FA Trophy weekend of games. So that game was called off. So we were going to play, Notts County weren't going to play. So we would have been level on games by then.
Next Saturday.
Next Saturday.
Right, yeah.
So the Notts County Altrincham game has been rearranged.
Yep.
It's been rearranged for Tuesday. So Tuesday the 28th.
Mm-hmm.
So they will now go 2 games ahead of us when they play on Tuesday because we're not playing on Tuesday. Okay?
Yep.
The other downside of that is if they win, they will go top on Tuesday. Yes, they will be top. They'll be on the same because the goal difference currently is the same for both of us.
Yep.
Now, any win means their goal difference will be 1, 2, 3, whatever better because you have to get a plus goal difference within a game to win it. So if they win that game, they will go top on goal difference, although we will then have 2 games in hand. Okay? One of them games in hand will be...
I'm so confused.
Next Saturday against Oldham.
Okay.
Okay. So then after the Oldham game, we will still, as we currently are, have 1 game in hand over Notts County. Okay. Cool. So we were due to be level on games on the 1st of April. We now won't be level on games until the 18th of April when we play Yeovil at home. That will be our game in hand.
Okay.
So as of Wednesday morning, late Tuesday night, Notts County will have played 2 more games than us, which is ridiculous, I think, but it is what it is. I find it quite bizarre that in a title race, they didn't rearrange the Altrincham game for the same night that we are playing Yeovil to keep it all nice and uniform. Here's what it is.
The National League for you. I
just wanted to mention it. So, quick one about Billy Waters.
Oh, why does that have to be? I feel so sorry for Billy Waters. Like,
I know.
He got signed on Wednesday, was it?
I'm not sure what day it was.
So beginning of the week anyway. And then, there was this, oh my God, this is an amazing signing. I mean, you'd not heard of him, have you?
Yeah, I know him from Halifax.
See, I've never heard of him.
Obviously. I don't know him from Barrow. I didn't know that's where he was, if I'm completely honest. I remember him playing against us a couple of times last season at Halifax.
So the news came out, we'd signed Billy Waters, and, it was exciting, and, because we've got another signing. And then, I'm assuming they didn't bring Billy Waters in for Paul Mullen, did they?
Yeah, I would say so. I think he's a little bit of cover for Paul Mullen, I would say, because for anybody who doesn't know, Paul's got a little bit of a knee problem. Now he's due. It's manageable, and he's due to, I think, have an operation in the summer. So as soon as the season's done, he'll probably go off and have an operation on his knee. I think Billy's come in as a little bit of cover just in case he goes, Paul, what you'll notice with Paul, he's going off with 15, 20 minutes to go in games. Yeah. And it's just to try and protect him a little bit.
He's one of our best players.
Yeah. So, I think he has been brought in just as cover, really.
Just a quick one. Going back to the York game yesterday, on Saturday, sorry. Did you say that Sam Dalby came on for Ollie Palmer? He didn't. He came on for Paul Mullen.
Yeah, sorry. I was just talking in the sense of he is sort of like a straight swap for.
That's fine. I just want it, because
Ollie.
I know what our listeners are like.
Yeah,
and they'll be like, no, you're wrong, Ryan.
Yeah, I know. You are right, but because I'm so used to him coming on for
Ollie. Yeah.
But this situation has sort of been created by Paul's knee, which we're just trying to protect him a little bit more.
So, Billy Waters, he's played 34 games in League Two.
Yeah.
He did play 34 games, and he scored 9 goals and he had 1 assist. Do you think we had a discussion about this, didn't we? And we said that, he's sort of, it's sort of identical really to when Ollie Palmer got signed with us, because he hadn't scored that many goals, but then obviously he came to us and, he was...
It's very much so, because Ollie was scoring about 1 in 4, right? Billy's... That is similar. 1 in sort of...
I'll let you do the maths for that, because I have no clue.
It's pretty much very close to bang on 1 in 4.
Yeah.
But he's got a proven record in the National League. At Halifax, he scored 17 in 44. So, that's...
What's the maths for that then?
That is a goal every 2.5 games. So, he's decent. He was... so Pete Wild, who's Barrow manager, used to be Halifax manager. So he went from Halifax to Barrow, and 16 days later, he signed Billy from Halifax to Barrow.
So he obviously
So he trusted him, he wanted him in, and he brought him across. So he's fast, he's a good finisher, and I hope he does.
Some of these notes that you've got, there's so many innuendos. Got good hands. Penfoss has got good hands. Billy Waters is fast and he's a good finisher.
God. Some other news. So we're recording this on Sunday morning. The reason we're doing it in the morning is we're going to watch the women play in the afternoon. So there's 8,000 expected, which is going to be a record for a women's game in Wales. I think the current record is 5,000, which is held by Cardiff from earlier in the season. So it's huge.
Yeah, Bryn Law actually tweeted something today saying basically that this is indicative of what Rob and Ryan are doing for Wrexham AFC.
Yes.
It's not just sell out for Wrexham, the men's first team. It is literally sell out for the women's team as well, and it's just amazing. I really like that word, indicative.
Yeah.
Indicative.
So we'll just rush through some other news. Malik Dykesteel from
is that how you pronounce it?
I'm assuming so, because Virgil van Dijk is Dijk, so I'm assuming it's Dykesteel because he is Dutch. We've signed him from Middlesbrough. He's going to slot into our reserves, so good luck to you, Malik. Yeah. Mother's Day. Wanted to touch on Mother's Day for anybody who didn't know. We took Sian to the racecourse for Mother's Day last week. You had a lovely little 3-course meal. It was amazing.
It was. For those mothers who, if their partners, if they're not into the football and they took their partner to the race course for Mother's Day, I think they'd be a bit annoyed. But I was ecstatic. Yeah. I loved it. It was amazing.
It was amazing. It was really
nice.
The
food was immense.
Food was brilliant. Just the reason I bring it up is that when Father's Day comes around, they're doing a Father's Day one as well. Just a little reminder for you on that one. The news of that would have been released today, because we got an email from them saying we're going to release some info on Monday, which is when you're downloading or listening to this, should be today. So just have a little look about the Father's Day stuff. I wanted to talk about another podcast, which I don't always do, but so there's another podcast called TWS Sports Podcast. So we've been speaking to them a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a podcast so just reading from their Twitter, it's hosted by autistic students from a special school, which is actually in Wolverhampton.
Yeah.
Each week they interview famous sportsmen and women to try and promote autism. So we've been having a little conversation with us. What they wanted to do is they wanted to send us a little clip sort of advertising their podcast. But because we're YouTube and we're also a podcast as well, we thought we'd talk about it first and foremost. So it's a great podcast. They have some really good people on there. They had Clive Woodward on there, one I listened to. So that was the ex-England rugby manager. That was a great one to listen to. And we just wanted to sort of promote that a little bit. They'd asked us if we'd mention them. We're mentioning them. So if you head over to Twitter at TWS Sports Pod, have a little look on there. They've been mentioned on BBC News. It is honestly, it's a great podcast, and we just wanted to help them promote that and help them grow that a little bit. I think
as well, if you do head over to their Twitter, there should be a link or something, because they are currently being nominated for a Global Sports Podcast Award, which is amazing.
It is. They did win. They won sport. They were a winner at the Sports Podcast Awards in 2021 as well. And they're hoping to get sort of people to vote for them for this year.
So head over and give them a vote.
Head over, have a little look. We will mention them again in a bit more detail in the future. Just quickly, last week we asked if people were starting to get anxious with the end of the season getting closer, promotion being within our grasp. Andrea got in touch. She said, I am nervous about the end of the season, but also feel excited. I really believe that this is Wrexham's year, but I still have nerves about each of the games coming up, trying to trust that Parky and the team know what they're doing, because I really do believe that's true.
I'm exactly the same, Andrea.
Matthew 1864 said massive anxiety, but take one game at a time and we will be okay.
This one made me howl.
Yeah.
Tardem said, suddenly I have anxiety, and that triggered my anxiety for the order you sit in front of the flag.
So for anybody who watches on YouTube, I think he's referring to the fact that we are this way around on the flag, but we have switched the way that we sit in front of the flag.
That wasn't anything purposeful. That was just the way that we sat.
It was, yeah, definitely. So David Chilcott said, maybe now that Sian has mastered the quiz.
You spelled my name wrong, by the way, David.
Yeah, she should create a few quizzes from her perspective for Ryan. I completely agree, David.
Do you know what? Last time I did a quiz, it was car crash.
It was.
And I'm rubbish at doing that sort of thing, but I will try.
I think you definitely should try.
Okay, we will try. So next week, I will do the quiz for you.
Yes, that would be very good. If you want to get in touch, we had hundreds this week, and we're so sorry we couldn't get through them all, but if you want to get in touch, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, or email us at methewifeandwrexhamafc@gmail.com. Also, if you can head over to the YouTube channel itself and subscribe on there, that would massively help us out.
Also, if you listen to us on podcast, head over to wherever you listen to your podcast and leave us a review.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. Yeah,
because reviews, likes, subscribes, whatever, it all helps us. It does. Build our podcast and YouTube.
It does. Just a quick shout out for Dragon Chat. So it's a mental health peer support group. It is done every week by some amazing people. It's an opportunity for people to go and have a little bit of a chat about the football, about themselves, about any problems they might be having. It's an amazing service. All the details of that are down in the description in this video. It's run on a Thursday at 7 p.m. and it's via Zoom. So check out the description on YouTube. If you're listening to the podcast, head over to the Wrexham AFC Facebook page on a Thursday at about 6 p.m. and they release all the details of how to get on that call.
And sometimes because obviously life gets in the way and stuff like that, but if I do get the opportunity, I do go on and try and share the details on our socials as well. So,
Definitely.
Quiz time!
It is quiz time.
So you don't get as excited anymore about quizzes. You hate doing the quiz now, don't you?
No, I don't. No, not at all. I did. So last week you did.
I smashed it last week.
You did very well.
I did,
and I was proud that you did so well.
Thanks.
But you got 4 out of 5 this week, and I think what I've done this week
has made it harder, so I get none.
I think in retrospect, what I maybe should have done is soften the questions a little bit to keep your confidence high. Not sure I've done that, and I think it might be quite tricky this week.
Fantastic.
But it's the quiz is for everyone. It's not just for you.
Okay.
It's for everyone listening as well. So here we go anyway. Question 1.
Yes.
Elliot Lee scored 100th goal in the league this season on Saturday.
How many goals Lee Elliott's got?
Lee Elliott?
Elliot Lee.
Can I finish the question? Yeah.
Sorry.
But who scored our first?
Our first was an own goal.
Not of the game. He scored our 100th goal of the season. Who scored our first?
Paul Mullin.
Paul Mullin? No, that was also Elliot Lee.
Crikey, that is a statistic for you, isn't it?
There you go. It was Eastleigh. If you remember, we were 1-0 down to Eastleigh. He came off the bench and scored 2, didn't he?
That's such a trick question.
Not a trick question.
Yes, it is a trick question.
Question 2.
I'm angry at that one.
Mullin and Palmer are our top 2 scorers this season. But who is third on the list?
Elliot Lee? No, that's not my answer.
Okay.
Oh, Christ. Palmer. Yeah, Elliot Lee.
Elliot Lee, yeah?
No, I can tell by the way you go, Elliot Lee, yeah? Yeah.
I think Elliot Lee.
You are unbearable.
I think Elliot Lee's 4th.
James Jones.
James Jones.
Is it?
No.
Who is it?
It's Aaron Hayden.
Oh, crikey. Oh, do you know what? I feel so bad. Completely forgot they was in the team.
Yeah.
Sorry, Aaron.
Yeah, so Mullin's top, Palmer 2nd, Aaron Hayden 3rd. So, question 3.
Yeah.
Everyone who has scored this season has scored at least twice, except for one player.
Fadzian.
Let me finish the question. Who is the only player to have scored only 1 goal? Who is the only player to have one goal to his name this season?
Young.
Luke Young?
No.
No.
No? Is it McFadzean?
No.
Who is it?
It's Owen O'Connell.
Oh, for Christ's sake. You have really thrown me under the bus this week.
I have, a little bit. Question 4. Apart from Mullin, who has the best minutes per goal ratio? So I think Mullin's is about 96, 97. So he gets a goal every 96 or 7 minutes. Who is second on that list for best minutes per goal ratio? If you think about it, you could probably work this one out.
Palmer.
You're going for Palmer?
Elliot Lee? I hate this quiz. Palmer or Elliot Lee?
I'll let you answer. It's neither of them, no.
Oh, I nearly swore then. I nearly swore.
Do you want one more?
Sam Dalby.
It is. So it's somebody who hasn't played as much, but has still scored. Yeah, it's Sam Dalby. I think his minutes per goal is about 112.
So that's 1.
That's what, yeah, you're trying to tot them up in your head.
That'll be 1.
That'll be 1.
That'll be 1.
So we've scored 100 goals this season, and there's still 7 games to go.
Yeah.
In the whole of last season, how many goals did we score in the league? I will give you multiple choice.
Okay, cool.
I wasn't just going to leave you with that one.
I think I know, but go on.
Okay. Was it 86, 91, 95, or 101? You think you know?
No, I don't.
No.
101.
101? No, that's incorrect. We scored 91 goals last season.
I thought it was 96. That's what I thought. So I thought I'll
just
go, yeah.
It wasn't in there, 96.
I know, that's why I got thrown. I got 1 right.
You did. And I thought, to be fair, let us know how you got on with the quiz at home, but I thought that was a tough quiz. To be fair, I was at the tough quiz, I think. So,
but yeah, you did it anyway.
I did. I just cracked on with it.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah.
You love making a fool of me, boy.
No. Well, thank you very much for tuning in again this week, and we'll see you again next week, I suppose.
We will after the Oldham game.
Yeah.
Bye!